The MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is presented by WinBet. Bet $100 at WinBet and get a $100 free bet. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WinBet. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today. Welcome, everybody, to the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford. I am in Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England. Today is Tuesday, September 20, and we have a two-man rotation here to handicap all the big games for Wednesday, September the 21st across MLB. Today might very well be the greatest day in the history of baseball as a sport, but we'll come on to that in a moment after we've introduced our co-host this evening. He's giggling away over there. Mr. Noah Bennick. Noah, how you doing?
Doing great, Malcolm. You turned me on to an amazing finish of a baseball game over there. First off, we don't really have many games to review here as there were no day games. So a lot of the trends that I'll have are pretty much the same trends as yesterday, but there was a day game technically, and it was in the WBC qualifier where Malcolm's Great Britain made a comeback. Holy moly. Malcolm, take us through it.
Yeah, the baseball's coming home, etc. The Team GB, having had a good campaign all the way through last week and this week, had a win in your in game against Spain this evening. We're 4-0 down after the first inning. We're 9-6 down as well. Tied the game up with one out in the bottom of the ninth with a home run, made it 9-9. Spain couldn't push a runner over with the zombie runner in the top of the 10th. Britain looked like they'd made a right arse of it. And then there was a review that took about 5 minutes. Runner was called safe at third and a sack fly later. And Great Britain were on the way to the World Baseball Classic. I mean, a day after the Queen's funeral, what's more patriotic than watching 12 Dominicans and Americans wearing Great Britain T-shirts? Bring it home for the Queen and country, Noah. I mean, come on. What's not to love about any of that?
Yeah, that's hilarious. Honestly, she might make her way back into baseball again tonight with the Kansas City Royals.
Yes, we went for the triple royal. The triple royal lock tonight in a game for the Tuesday night game that starts in about an hour.
Yeah, I have to give them a special shout out because I, as the listeners know, I love listening to Daniel Vreeland and Jeff Fox on the MMA Gambling Podcast, and they do a great job with the Dana White's Contender Series, and they gave us a little bit of a shout out. And Daniel apparently listens to like every podcast there is on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, he says, and I cannot do that. I don't have the time with school and with baseball and love college sports, but he gave us a special shout out, said that we're the best thing going on SGPN right now. He says the 21-year-old is always flabbergasted by all the terms that the Brit uses. And Malcolm, I have to say, zombie runner, your term is like, it's spot on. It's like it makes sense. Like we call it ghost runner in America, and zombie runner just makes sense. It comes back alive to go to second base in extra innings for no apparent reason. It's the stupidest rule in baseball. But Malcolm, I'd never heard that term before used until today.
Well, I thought it was quite a common term. We would use it kind of all the time, and I put it in the chat today. We were just talking. We were live watching that game, and when the game went to extras, I wonder if they're going to use the zombie runner. And then you and Moonaf said you'd never heard it. But I mean, he is a zombie. He was dead because he's been out, and now he's back alive. He's not a ghost either, because he's there. Like you can't see through him. He's not an apparition. It's a real live thing, not like a zombie. Do you know what I mean? So I think it does make total sense. Yeah. So we'll carry on using the zombie runner.
I love that.
I can't believe you haven't heard that.
There's no zombie runners in playoff baseball. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Well, the zombie runner got us over the line tonight. So So I'll be on the phone to Sean and Ryan tomorrow, making arrangements to fly me, you, and Munaf and Dylan out to Japan for the World Baseball Classic. We'll do some live coverage from Tokyo and places.
Dude, that would
March
be so
2023.
Cool. I've given it some more thought. I've given it some more thought. I would love to be in Las Vegas because it's during the March Madness time. But holy moly, like a trip to Japan to cover baseball would be amazing.
I think half the games are in the US. It's a weird setup.
Yes, it is a little bit of a weird setup. They've
got two groups, haven't they? So
yeah,
they
did it last year too.
Yeah,
one brackets. One in San Diego, and there was one in like Portugal, if I'm mistaken.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Portugal sounds about right.
But
I was looking at the brackets earlier on, and there's a few.
It's been like 6 years since it happened. Yeah, so my memory's a little fritzy on that.
I know, like Holland are normally a good side; they've qualified. Israel are normally decent; they've qualified from Europe as well. And there'll be one more European team plays tomorrow from the Czech Republic and Spain. But it'll be fun, and I'm sure Sean and Ryan will get the company credit card out and send us off to the foothills of Mount Fuji to do a couple of shows.
MLB gambling podcast, WBC gambling podcast. Just do a little bit of a handshake.
I mean, what's not to like?
It'd be perfect.
It's arms across the sea, Noah. That's what we're doing. We're spreading the word.
I have to say, if I would have looked at the tournament in the Europe qualifier, and I would have been very surprised. Great Britain came out 3-0. I mean, just a couple of countries over there just seemed to jump off the page more than Great Britain. No offense, but
you're absolutely right.
Tremendous accomplishment by Britain. And I had a buddy. He was a leadoff hitter for Germany. He was their best player, center fielder, leadoff hitter. Demetrius Moore. He hit a home run, I believe. But they were in 2 in barbecue. So Great Britain, hell of a run there.
Well, even that little 10 minutes that you watched at the end there. Harrison Ford came up and batted for GB. He was in the Mariners system. I think the pitcher at the end for Spain, the closer, Reiner, ex-Astro. What was his name? Javier? No, something.
It was something Cruz, right? That's what they said.
Cruz Reiner was his name, who pitched for the Astros in 2013. So he was a big paid in. I think he appeared in 72 games for Houston back in 2013. So he got more than a cup of coffee in the bigs. And then Naj, I want to say Harris, but he's a running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers. What was his name? Thomas. Yeah, Naj Thomas, who was the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Pittsburgh Pirates, yeah, you do. 29th ranked prospect for your boys. The Pirates came in and got a 1-2-3 in the top of the 10th.
I've got to say, the lower level baseball, when they offer gambling odds, and 100% there's going to be some betting odds on the World Baseball Classic, they're not very sharp. They're pretty square. Like doing college baseball all year, I'll have college baseball, WBC, and college basketball going on in that March. All the attention is going to be on March Madness. These are going to be pretty square lines. I'm excited. We need to do this.
Well, you did so well in the Little League World Series. That's a great example of that kind of little tournament. That if you've got an angle in, because Hawaii smashed the granny out of everybody else, didn't they? And you were all over them at 5-1. Yeah. So if we'll get our heads together and come next March, everybody, save up a few quid, and then we'll just fire it. We'll scattergun it at the World Baseball Classic. And we'll be rich for the start of the MLB season. Yeah, absolutely perfect.
Lane Elliott in the comments, he's like, it's just like international basketball as well. And so I think we're going to have Malcolm just completely on Britain's side. He's going to be the homer there. And then Munaf said he's going to be repping USA. We've got to get like Dylan on some Puerto Rico or something, and I'm going to be Dominican Republic because I got a buddy that's a bench warmer for that squad as well. So just my school, they go down in the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico, and they pull out some good players and play up.
Nice.
There. So I got somebody on DR, but let's jump into some MLB stuff now.
Yeah, we could talk about this rubbish all night. Talk about some actual real baseball.
It's not. It's real baseball.
It is real baseball. I'm being slightly.
Baseball field might be a little bit of a minor league field, but
yeah, that looked a bit grim. It was pissing down with rain, and it was 11:20 somewhere in Germany. It looked freezing cold as well. I don't think anyone was having much fun there in the bottom.
They were. There was like that carbon dioxide coming out of their mouth.
Yeah, bottom 10. So we're going to concentrate on the big games here, so I think we've got 9 games with playoff implications tomorrow across MLB. They're the games we're going to be covering. 1 or 2 pitches on the board. We've got one very recent pitching change, but we can come to that in a minute. That's in our first game, actually, so we'll cross that bridge in a moment. All the lines that we've got for you tonight are coming from WinBet. The perfect time to join. You'll get $100 match deposit. The WinBet Casino is open 24 hours a day, 100% deposit there too, up to $1,000. WinBet is now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia. Lots to choose from. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/winbet. So they knew that we sent you sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today. Offer subject to change. T's and C's at winbet.com. Must be 21 or older and present in the state where playthrough WinBet is available. If you're someone who knows a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. If you're a football watcher, Fubo TV is what you need to download and watch. Complete coverage of college and pro football with NFL Red Zone 2. All in 4K, no extra charges. Hundreds of channels, live sports and entertainment. No contract, no commitment. Cancel at any time. Try Fubo TV free for 7 days and get 15% off your first month. Go to FuboTV.com/SGP. That's FUBOTV.com/SGP. And finally, Odds Trader, a place where you can compare odds from all major sports books. You can compare the different sign-up codes and promos too, so you can get the best deal. And once you've done all that, you'll get things like key game stats, player stats, injury reports, projected game day weather, and the all-important bet tracker to keep you on top of all your action as well. Go to oddstrader.com/bluewire. OddsTrader is the #1 site for all of your game day bets. Okay, the first game tomorrow is the one that's just got a little bit awkward in terms of handicapping. It's a 12:20 Eastern first pitch. It's the Washington Nationals at the Atlanta Braves. Washington are officially TBD. I've got Josiah Gray going. Until I opened this about 10 minutes back after that GB game finished, I had Max Fried going for Atlanta. The starting pitcher now for Atlanta is going to be Bryce Elder. A brief desktop review has revealed that Spencer Strider is suffering with an oblique issue. So Bryce Elder is going to start this game tomorrow against Washington. Max Fried's going to be pushed back till Thursday to start the opening game of the Phillies series. So that makes sense. This might just be a little bit of preventative maintenance maybe on Spencer Strider. So Fried can go in the first game against Phillies. Brian Snitka said he's not going to go on the IL Strider. He's still going to be playing catch and what have you. As a result, I haven't got an awful lot to give you on this one. We've got no lines with really neither pitcher fully confirmed as of a few minutes ago. Josiah Gray, though, to me, 7-9 on the season, 5.14 ERA, 136 2/3 with 149 strikeouts. Gray's really, really struggling. He looks very tired to me. I think I've mentioned that the last 2 or 3 times that I've handicapped him here on the show. His last 3 starts, 4 earned, 6 earned. He faced Atlanta once this season and actually threw a scoreless game, 5 innings scoreless. But that was when he was in form. He was a different pitcher back then. So the presence of Elder here might just make Atlanta backable. They weren't going to be backable with Fried on the mound. They would have been minus 230, minus 240. I don't know what difference the presence of Elder is going to make. Maybe it could still be slightly prohibitive, minus 170, minus 180. I initially had the over written down just because I think Gray could have given up a lot of them on his own. And Washington had actually got to Fried a couple of times, not for loads, but for enough. He's got a 4.5 ERA in the 3 games started. So Washington have been able to hit Atlanta pitching different kettle of fish now with Elder rather than Fried. So tentatively the over, and maybe have a look at the price that comes out with Bryce Elder, Noah.
Yeah. First off, before I talk, there's a bad storm going on in my area, so
okay.
Hopefully I don't disconnect. I'm on wired connection, but that still doesn't affect anything if the power goes out. So that aside, I gave it a refresh on the MLB.com page, and we now have Bryce Elder confirmed, but we don't have JoJo Gray confirmed. You might have, handicapped this one perfectly. He is a little bit of fatigue. He's a young kid in the MLB, and sometimes they get an extra day. And I actually think that's exactly what Atlanta's doing here. You don't need Strider against the Nationals. You need Strider against the Phillies. I think Strider, yes, he might have a little bit of a pinch in the oblique, but they want him pitching against Philadelphia. I think you give him 1 or 2 days extra rest, and you give him the Phillies on his plate instead of the Nationals. Come on now. Bryce Elder, young, promising arm from the University of Texas. Honestly, there's not much to go off of this year so far in the MLB. Just over 30 innings, 3.67 ERA. My bet, I don't know if I'm going to be on this game officially, but you got to go Braves here, right?
Is that the thunder I can hear now outside your house?
It is.
Is it really?
Yeah.
That's incredible. Yikes.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. But yeah, not much to go on with. The games that we can get our teeth into. So we will move on to a 2:10 Eastern first pitch between the New York Mets and the Milwaukee Brewers. Taijuan Walker goes for the New York Mets, and Adrian Hauser is on the bump for the Brew Crew. Lines are... Let me jump. Well, my computer is as slow as a week in prison tonight. I don't know what it is. New York Mets, not that from experience, you understand. The Mets are minus 126. What? Is that not a common phrase either? I don't know what you... I don't know how you people live your lives, honestly. The New York Mets are minus 126. The Brewers are plus 106. Total is set at 8.5. Take it away with the Mets at the Brewers, Noah.
So the Mets, they're 6-13 in their last 19 games, although on Monday they clinched the division. So you're expecting, like we talked about this on Astros handicap as well. Expect maybe a little bit of a letdown on Tuesday, but on Wednesday they should be fine. In their last 11 games against the Brewers, they are 1-10, and the Brewers, they're on a win streak right now. The Mets, they've hit the over in 12 of their 18. The Brewers, they've hit the over in 5 of their last 7. Currently not a win streak anymore. I don't know why I said that. Taijuan Walker, 12-4 on the year, 3.42 ERA, 111 strikeouts, 40 walks, and 142 innings pitched. He's a 3.23 ERA in his last 7 starts. Then for Milwaukee, Adrian Hauser is starting. 6-9 ERA, or 6-9 record, 4.85 ERA, 66 strikeouts, 43 walks, and 94.2 innings pitched. He has a 3.83 ERA in his last 4 starts. Hauser doesn't go very deep into these games, and Tuesday we predicted that it would be most likely a bullpen game with Aaron Ashby starting. So that's going to be enough for me to give the edge to the Mets. That's going to be a lot of wear and tear on these arms in the pen for Milwaukee. Going back to them in 2 straight days, the Mets are going to have better looks against them. So I like New York on the money line here.
I've basically got the same handicap, but a different outcome. I've used everything that you've mentioned there to lead me towards the over. I just got question marks next to both pitches, really. There's 3 games here that I say this every day. I handicapped these games about 6 hours ago, middle of the afternoon for me. And was 1 to 4 of the lines of these 9 games that have sort of moved. So leading me to think that I'm kind of in the right area. So I handicapped this at 8 earlier, and I took that over 8, which has now moved to 8.5. So again, that tempers my confidence just a little bit. But yeah, both questionable. I think both offenses could put up a few runs as well. The Mets might... I think the Mets will get beat tonight in the Tuesday game, so they'll want it a little bit more tomorrow too.
Yeah.
We
with these shorter slates that we're doing now, we're committing more to the playoff chasing games. 76% of the handle on that over. So you are definitely in the right area here.
Hence the line movement. Like I say, This tends to happen a lot. It's the one thing that gives me. I know my picks are generally terrible, but the one thing that gives me a little bit of solace is I'm generally doing I feel like I'm doing the right thing when all these lines kind of move in the direction of what I have picked. Next up, let's have a look at the Houston Astros at the Tampa Bay Rays, which is a 6:40 Eastern first pitch. Lance McCullers Jr. gets the ball for Houston, and Corey Kluber is the starter for Tampa Bay. Lines are... Oh, come on. There we go. That's really struggling. Houston, -126. Tampa Bay, +108. Total here is set at 7. Back to you for this one, Noah.
Alrighty. Houston, they're 8-1 in the last 9 games, 8-3 in their last 11 against the Tampa Bay Rays. And both of these teams are like one of our favorite under teams. Houston, they're starting Lance McCullers Jr., 3-1 with a 2.34 ERA, 37 strikeouts, 19 walks, and 34.2 innings pitched. He has a 4.29 in his only 2 road starts. He's made 6 starts off the IL. Those 2 road starts against the Angels and the Braves. Tampa Bay, they're going with Corey Kluber here, 10-9, 4.44 ERA, 128 strikeouts, 18 walks, and 148 innings pitched. I think the Klubot, he's malfunctioning here in September. Meanwhile, McCullers, he's fresh. He looks tremendous so far. This is a simple handicap that we talked about in the last appearance for Kluber as well. He's just slowing down a little bit. Another one of these guys that we just noticed fatigue in the arm, losing MPH on that fastball of velocity. So simple handicap. This is Houston on the money line.
Yeah, it's one of those better team, better pitcher things, isn't it, that we often say. This is the second one for me where the line moved. The over was at 6.5. The total was at 6.5 when I looked at this afternoon. It's gone to 7 because my play again was the over. I've got overs all over the place. I'll say I've got a couple of run lines and I've got about 5 overs. Not a single under on my card. So a fun night tomorrow night coming up. Lots of runs. I just thought again,
3% of the handle.
Yeah, Kluber, very, very vulnerable. Houston have been scoring a lot of runs. I handicapped Houston last night. If I just turn back my page, minimum 5 runs in 8 of their last 9. That was before last night. Did they play last night? Can't remember.
Who? Astros and Rays?
Yeah, I think they did.
Houston clinched. So Tuesday is the day that we're talking about. Could be the letdown spot. This is where Houston comes back.
I know, I picked Houston last night. I never even entertained that letdown spot for them. But they've been scoring a lot more runs than they had been previously. So, the 6.5 looked too short. Excuse me. Again, it's moved to 7, but that won't put me off, so I'm going to take another over here in this one. No House Advantage is a new sponsor we've got here on the MLB Gambling Podcast, changing the game by offering the most dynamic fantasy sports platform available today. You can play in pick-em contests versus other people and have a shot at winning $250,000 or more in cash. You can download the app, choose your contest, select your players, and then earn points for correct picks to climb the leaderboard and win the big money. Test your skills versus the house and win 20 times your entry fee. You can play NFL, NBA, MLB, PGA, MMA, and NASCAR. Check out No House Advantage today. Experience daily fantasy sports redefined. Sign up with the promo code SGPN at nohouseadvantage.com or download the app to get a first deposit match up to $25. Promoguide.us is the best place to go if you're interested in plus EV betting strategies. Daily updates on odds boosts and huge cash bonuses from all the major sports groups, and a VIP Discord group as well, which will give you those even deeper plus EV analytics. Promo Guy is run by a small team of passionate sports fans dedicated to building a well-informed, better betting community. Go to promoguy.us, check out the 100% tracked, transparent and proven method for betting smarter. Make sure you check out promoguy.us. And finally, Sleeper, the fastest growing fantasy platform, millions of players. Guaranteed that you use it for your fantasy football team. The over-under game that we've talked about a lot so far this season, your first game that's integrated into your fantasy experience. You can just click on the player that you've got in your team and that'll take you to a page where you can back the over or under on their passing yards line or receptions, something like that, and win 2 to 20 times the money that you're willing to stake on it. Get your mobile phone, join our listener group on Sleeper at sleeper.com/SGP. Sleeper will automatically match your first deposit up to $100. Promo code SGP, sleeper.com/SGP for $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details.
Yeah,
Next up is
in the playoffs.
Yes,
Sleeper's going to be in playoffs. Sleeper's going to be fun. I live in Michigan, so that's one issue. And the other issue is like we record the day before, so we're not able to give out sleeper plays. But because it would be dumb giving them out just 2 hours prior, and you have to watch it live to hear our sleeper play, and then we post it for the next day, and they're hearing yesterday's sleeper plays. Anyways, I'm assuming Sleeper's going to have props and odds prior to these playoff games coming up because you typically get like days in between off. So gotta love it. That's going to be fun in the playoffs. Yeah,
absolutely something else to get our teeth into, and why not? D-Gens all the way there. The game of the day is the 6:45 Eastern first pitch, or certainly the pitching matchup of the day. Kevin Gausman for the Toronto Blue Jays will take on Zach Wheeler of the Philadelphia Phillies. Lines are close. Toronto -105, Philly -115. Total here is set at 8. And this is me, isn't it? So Kevin Gausman, 12-10, 3.45 ERA, 159 and 1/3 pitched with 186 strikeouts. Zach Wheeler, 11-7 on the year, 3.07 ERA, 138 innings, 148 strikeouts. Gausman's on the ropes a little bit. 5.40 ERA in his last 5 starts. He's given up 5 earned runs in his last 2 outings against Tampa Bay and at Texas. And then I think it was 5 starts ago he gave up 4 at Boston as well. In all of his last 5 starts, the game total has gone 8 or more. He has 24 innings against Tampa Bay this year with a 3 ERA, a level 3 ERA. But again, that's when he was in form, and he's just out of form at the moment. Zach Wheeler, 4.02 in his last 5, 4 and 6 earned runs in his last 2. So he's given up 10 earned runs in his last 2 starts as well. Same as Gausman. Both of his came against the New York Mets. He's been much better at home this season, 1.95 home ERA. But he has 1 game started against the Blue Jays this season, gave up 6 earned runs on 4 innings pitched. Everything you handicapped here was just ticking boxes for the over again, Noah. I said I've got overs all over my card tonight. And this was another one. 2 kind of out of form pitchers and 2 relatively in form offenses as well. It just has to be an over, I think.
Yeah, I'm sort of with you here. I think that this is my first angle was going to be like, you know what? We talked about it earlier in the podcast. The Phillies have the Braves next up. That's a complete total look ahead spot, just 101. But then you take a look at Toronto's schedule, and they're going to leave to go on and play Tampa Bay in a critical series for the AL wildcard standings. So Toronto is hot in general, 13-5 in their last 18 games. Philly defends their home park very well, 11-2 in their last 13 at home. Malcolm, you're kind of getting reaffirmed by some of the stats here. 89% of the public is on the under here with both of these big names. I love the over with you as well. They're both not in great form. Let's go.
Yeah, but does this make me a sharp or a square, Noah? I'm not sure if this is
sharp. That's
yeah,
sharp.
but
you want to be against the public with the money. Like you want to be on the side of the money and against the public. Come on.
So why do I never win then, Noah?
What are you talking about?
That's the next question.
Hey, you were completely against the public when you took the Orioles, and that thing cashed in August. Okay, just
fair enough.
Let me pat you on the shoulder. we just keep Malcolm going again.
We'll just keep harking back to my 1 winning bet. As an example,
we need to check up on those. We need to start getting our
we do actually. We would when there'll be a quiet slate soon, and I'll go back there. I've got them all written down in one of the 1,000 files that I've filled up so far this season with all of our waffle. 7:05 Eastern is the Pittsburgh Pirates at the New York Yankees. where Roansy Contreras will get the ball for Pittsburgh, and the lefty Luis Severino is back for the New York Yankees.
Did you say lefty?
Yeah.
It's right.
Oh no! Do you know what it is? It's because it's got the L next to him because his name's Luis. Oh. They've obviously distinguished Luis Severino from like Pedro Severino or someone. So it's got Severino, comma, L. And yeah, okay. All right, smart ass. That's a good save.
I say that's not smart ass.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, getting his handedness right is fairly crucial, actually. So
because I'm playing struggle against.
It's a good job I didn't do a load of shit on Pittsburgh's WRC plus on left-handed pitching like Munaf would have done. The Pittsburgh Pirates are plus 240. The New York Yankees are minus 300. Total is set at 8. Now then, interested in this. Contreras 5-4 on the year, 3.24 ERA, 83 and a third with 74 strikeouts. Severino 5-3, 3.45 ERA, 86 innings pitched and 95 strikeouts. Roansy Contreras has been flames recently. You might be able to tell us a little bit more about this. 2-1 in his last 5 with a 1.65 ERA. Generally speaking, 3.26 road ERA so far this season. He's only given up 5 earned runs in his last 5 starts. If you look at his game log, you just see way more good starts than bad ones for Contreras. Yeah. It's just good start after good start. You can see quality after quality. Severino is back. This is his first start since the 13th of July. Before that, he was struggling. He had a 5.04 ERA in the 5 games before he went onto the IL. He did start against Pittsburgh in a 16-0 win on the 6th of July. I think that was his second to last start before he disappeared again. So interesting to see what Severino's got here. I just think we know what baseball's like. You get a dog every now and again. If Pittsburgh are going to win a game, it's going to be behind Contreras. And Severino has to be vulnerable in his first game back. Don't know how long he's going to go, but Pittsburgh are very live here for me at plus 240 now.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. And I've been banging this drum for Roansy Contreras, and he's finally coming around in the second half of the season here. Good start after good start, like you're mentioning. He's just nasty. He's got a couple of spinners and a slider and a curveball that, he just loves to throw. That slider, actually, it's really good because he loves throwing it on the front door of some right-handed hitters. It's so you get some clips of Contreras. It's just like normal pitchers can't. They don't have the ability to do that. Now, okay, I want to go back to this and just explain. I'm going to be dropping some percentages here for the rest of the year, I guess, because we're going into the tight numbers games with all these playoff games. The Yankees doesn't really like qualify, I guess, because when you get these huge money line numbers, they're obviously going to be highly bet upon on the run line, and there's going to be less people on the Pirates. But you go into the money line for the Pirates, you're seeing it in high plus 200s. Only 6% of the people are on this. Malcolm, what is another one of our MLB betting commandments? Luis Severino's coming off the IL. This is his first game. What are we doing, guys? Come on. It's Pirates money line. It's not like a comfortable, confident play, but if you're going to be betting this game, it's the Pirates money line.
And Pirates first 5 is a perfectly acceptable play as well. Just get the 1-0 up after the first 5. New York might come back and pick it up late doors. So play that either way. But certainly get a little bit of the Pirates in your betting portfolio tomorrow. Next up is 8-10. We will go to we've got 2 AL Central clashes here. First up is the Minnesota Twins at the Kansas City Royals. Bailey Ober for Minnesota and Daniel Lynch, who is a left-handed pitcher, will go for the Kansas City Royals. Lines are... Oh, my computer refuses to comply. It's painfully slow.
Do you want me to?
No, I've got it. It's moved eventually. The Twins, minus 145. KC, plus 125. Total set at 8.5. No, I know what you're going to pick here, but you go through the formalities. Yeah, I do, yeah.
So this I got confused. We're covering the Twins Kansas City Royals game, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if you know what I'm gonna pick. If you're saying that, all right. The Twins, they're 1-4 in their last 5 games. They've won 7. They've won 7 in a row against the Royals. We were all on the Royals here for Tuesday night. But I mean, the Twins are 3-14 straight up in their last 17 road games. So against Cleveland, Bailey Ober came off the IL and he looked very good. He defied one of our commandments in betting against IL pitchers. He only gave up 1 hit in 5 innings with 5 punchies. He's making his second start off the IL. He looked promising. And he's going up against Kansas City's Daniel Lynch. He's 4-11, 5.15 ERA, 113 Ks, 48 walks, 117 innings pitched. He has a 7.47 ERA in his last 6 starts. This is a lefty. The Twins hit better against lefties. We all rode the Royals money line yesterday. This is where we pivot to the Twinkies on the money line, Malcolm.
Okay, I was 100% wrong then. I just thought, I mean, we've talked about this in the middle of a series when we've handicapped games. And we gave all the reasons last night why we were out really on the Minnesota Twins. And that all still stands for me.
Okay.
I'm not thrilled about taking Lynch. This was another one where the money's moved. I had KC at plus 140 about 6 hours ago. Now at plus 125. So again, kind of gone in the direction of the outcome that I've picked. I just don't want any part of Minnesota here. If KC don't do the business for us tonight around about even money, then this is a series where I think you just play them, you're going to end up coming out on the right side. So I was happy with the 140. I'll still just take the 125 though. And I think KC will turn Minnesota over. I expect better things from Bailey Ober though. You're right. I think he could have a decent last couple of weeks.
I often think about what you said to me like a week or two ago, that just Dylan is sharper. And I guess I know more public and baseball and names and stuff. You look at this thing and you're right. 85% of the money is on the Royals. 85% of the public's on the Twins. So this is dangerous spot for the Twins. But I'm still on Ober's side. Lynch has to show me that he's good.
Okay, we'll stay in the AL Central for a 8-10 first pitch also between the Cleveland Guardians and the Chicago White Sox in this big series for all the marbles. Tristan McKenzie goes for Cleveland and Lance Lynn for the Chicago White Sox. The White Sox are favourites at minus 130. Cleveland plus 110. Totalia is set at 7. Back across to you, Noah, to hit us up with this one.
So when you said you know what I'm going to do, this is the game that I thought you were going to be talking about.
Okay.
I have a Guardians/Indians jersey behind me. Have you seen the movie Major League?
Yes.
Okay. Ricky Vaughn, 99, Wild Thing. I was him for Halloween like 2 years ago. If the White Sox don't sweep the Guardians, I'll come on and I'll wear that jersey, and I've got an old Wahoo logo, Chief Wahoo hat logo for the old Cleveland baseball team. I'll wear that on a podcast if the White Sox don't sweep them here, because I'm super high on the White Sox and being able to come out of this series as part of the reason, because just the way they're pitching lined up for it. You have Cease, Lynn, and who is next for them in Game 3 of the final game of the series. It was just
Kopech, maybe.
Cueto, and he's been one of their better pitchers as well. He's going up against Bieber though, so it's going to be a great matchup in Game 3, and I think that's the one it comes down to. So I've already hinted my play. It's going to be the White Sox money line. Let's handicap this thing though. Guardians, they're 10-2 in their last 12 games. They're 1-4 in their last 5 against the White Sox, who are 8-3 in their last 11. Tristan McKenzie gets the ball for the Guardians here, 10-11 on the year. 3.08 ERA, 167 strikeouts, 43 walks, and 172.1 innings pitched. He has a 2.92 ERA in his last 11 starts since the All-Star game. Lance Lynn for the White Sox is going to be on the bump. 7-5, 3.99 ERA, 113 strikeouts, 16 walks, and 103.2 innings pitched. He has a 1.46 ERA in his last 7 starts. Malcolm, I'm leaning Tonka truck in the White Sox here, because they need this game. I got a DM actually yesterday, saying that my statement yesterday wasn't factually true, but I mean, I know my stuff. MLB outlawed the game 163 because they expanded the playoffs. So they said they didn't have the time in the calendar to have a game 163. So now there's divisional tiebreakers, and the number one tiebreaker is a head-to-head record. And like we mentioned, the White Sox need a sweep in this series to have that head-to-head record edge against the Guardians. This is the final season series between the two teams.
Did somebody tell you were wrong on that then?
Yeah, they came into my DMs, and I explained it to them nicely. So I just wanted to make sure everybody that listened to the pod knew. But I'm on the White Sox money line. But I love the under with Lance Lynn in great form. I'll say it again: 1.46 ERA in his last 7 starts, and McKenzie since the All-Star game 2.92 ERA. Take the under.
Yeah, I've got no unders on my card. 7 was maybe just a hair low for me. I'm on the other side. I'm really like McKenzie. And actually, I really like what the Guardians have put together recently as well. They're playing really well. Nothing that they've done has been a fluke, actually. I think they deserve a lot more credit than they've got. Teams like Baltimore have come on people's radar as a team who weren't forecast to do much, have done really well. But at the start of the season, Cleveland were forecast to literally fall apart before our very eyes as well. There was talk about Ramirez getting traded, and all of a sudden, they're playing excellent ball. I love Tristan McKenzie. Still not sure about Lance Lynn, although the evidence has been there, so no issue. But yeah, I'm perfectly prepared to risk the Cleveland Guardians here at plus 110 now. So
you want to hear money line percentages on this one too, Malcolm?
Of course.
95% of the public is on the White Sox.
Excellent.
And where am I at again? 95% of the public's on the White Sox, and 75% of the money's on the Guardians. So you're also in the right spot here, looking at just the books trying to outsmart the public. But I'm backing the White Sox.
Okay, the penultimate game here on the MLB Gambling Podcast.
Get your pens out.
Is the Seattle Mariners against the Oakland Athletics, which is a 9:40 Eastern first pitch. Robbie Ray, left-handed pitcher for Seattle, and James Kapralian will go for Oakland. Seattle are prohibitive, minus 210. Oakland plus 180. Total is set at 7. Robbie Ray, 12-10 on the season, 3.72 ERA, pitched 171 2/3 with 194 Ks. Kapralian 3-9 on the year, 4.70 ERA, 115 innings, 80 strikeouts. Robbie Ray's had back-to-back stinkers against Atlanta at home.
He let down everybody with the K props.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I think he did me a favour last week against Captain Insano, who's noticeable by that. We'll have to send a search party out for Captain Insano, by the way.
Yeah.
This is the first time ever I think he's not been in the chat. So,
for real.
Yeah, we hope he's got a note from Mrs. Insano, or there'll be trouble.
SGP's not streaming right now, are they?
No, maybe, yeah. I did tell Sean and Ryan off in Vegas last week for hijacking our stream halfway through when all of our listeners just disappeared.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Ryan was not remotely interested in my complaints, let me say. 5.08 ERA on the road. I think that's the big stat here. That's the big stat when handicapping this game, is that Robbie Ray, as good as he's been, or can be, ERA of over 5 on the road on the season. He's pitched 18 2/3 against Oakland this season with a 2.41 ERA. Kapralian is struggling as well, although his recent figures are kind of skewed by one horror start against the New York Yankees, where he gave up 8 runs. His other 4 starts have been consistent. He gives up 2 runs every start, apart from that outlier. Has pitched 21 1/3 against Seattle this season, 18 earned runs in that span, giving him an ERA of 4.22. This was another one for the over for me. That Robbie Ray ERA said Kapralian's going to give you at least 2. And then the Oakland bullpen etc., can get us easily over this 7. This is going to be 9 or 10 runs in this game. I think Seattle might win 7-3 is my call. Anyway, it's going over 7, Noah.
I'm there with you as well. The over here just screams at you. And Ray, I was the conductor of the fade Robbie Ray train in the beginning of the season, and he shut me up in July. I mean, this is the Robbie Ray that I expected to see the full season in his last 2 starts. Yeah, it's an over. The Seattle Mariners offense looks alive right now, alive and well, and they're going to get a couple on this Oakland Athletics bullpen that is bottom 3 in the league. So, yeah, give me the over all day. Do you want to – I mean, I can go look at percentages if you want me to here as well.
You seem to be having a lovely time doing it. No, I don't want to stop you.
38% of the public is on the over. So we've got 62 on the under there. So we're on the right side again.
Okay. Last game is the St. Louis Cardinals at the San Diego Padres, which will get underway at 9:40 p.m. Eastern Time. Miles Mikolas for the St. Louis Cardinals and left-handed pitcher Blake Snell for the San Diego Padres. St. Louis are plus 105, San Diego minus 125. Total here set at 7.5. Noah, give us a winner in this last game.
Yeah, this is one that was basically the exact same for the trends. I mentioned it at the top of the podcast. St. Louis 12-6 in their last 18, 10-4 in their last 14 on the road, and they have a 6-game win streak against these Padres, who are 4-2 in their last 6. All right, that's out of the way. Let's go with the pitchers. Miles Mikolas for the Cardinals, 11-12 with a 3.46 ERA, 138 strikeouts, 36 walks, and 187.1 innings pitched. He has a 4.84 ERA in his last 5 starts, and he's a full run worse on the road with a 4.69 ERA. Then you go to San Diego, you look here, and it's Blake Snell. All right, so he's been impossible to handicap. We thought he was going to be all right at the beginning of the season. He was terrible. Then when we thought he was going to be terrible for a couple of games in a row, he turned good. And then now he's been bad again. So 7-9, 3.93 ERA, 146 strikeouts, 45 walks, and 110 innings pitched. The Cardinals, they're the best left-handed pitching hitting team in the MLB. I think this is a spot where both starters could get in trouble early. So for the second straight game in a row, I think this 7.5 is too low. I love this over. Get in on it now. If you're listening live, that is perfect, because I feel like if we're right on Tuesday, because me and you both had the lock on the over in this game's going to at least go to 8 after they put up like 13 in that game, hopefully, right? So this one should go up by tomorrow morning. I love this over. I would also lean Padres to win, because if there's one starting pitcher that I guess could have a better day, Miles Mikolas is just in a bad environment that he's proven to not do well in. I'll lean Snellzilla and the Friars.
I was agreeing with you halfway through there. I think the over is a great bet. This is basically the exact handicap I had for the Tuesday night game, the Wainwright v Clevenger game, where I've got St. Louis and the over. Just handicapped it in exactly the same way, really, the comparisons between the two pitchers. Although Snell has been better than Clevenger, I'll give you that. I just much prefer the Cards at the moment. I have much more trust in the Cardinals than in San Diego. So the over absolutely would be my main bet. I think that 7.5 is way too low. We've locked that up tonight. Hopefully that'll come through for us. So the over, but again, the over, and again, my lead would be the Cards, which opposes you. But yeah, we'll stick with the main play, and we will double team the over in that one. So there we go. 9 playoff implicated games.
That stuck out to you on the games that we didn't cover? Let's talk about this like at the end of the podcast. Like make it a thing.
Yeah, I fully agree, because actually last night we finished the pod and I had a lean for the Angels in the Tuesday night slate, which I never actually gave out. I mentioned it to Moonaf earlier on. The Angels travel to Texas Rangers tonight. I mean, I don't know why I'm telling you this, because by the time people listen to it, it's going to be way too late. But I liked Patrick Sandoval against Cole Reagans in that one. So Yeah, just having a look down the slate. I mean, if you get anything that caught your eye, then have you brought it up for a reason to give us something?
Yeah, there was something. It's not out yet. The line is not out, but Stroman on the road has a 187 ERA, and I love Jesus Luzardo. I mean, the Cubs and Marlins lineups both struggle. I'm going to be on the under if it's 6.5 or higher. I like the under there.
Okay.
That's the one that jumped off the page for me.
I'm just having a little look around, really. Yeah, there's nothing that blows my skirt up particularly. The Rockies at home might be a decent price because the Giants are trotting out. Yeah, and they're trotting out Logan Webb, I think, so that'll keep the prices relatively honest. Mad Bum on the road at the Dodgers. It's too hard to handicap. We got a TBD pitcher in Boston, so yeah, nothing apart from the. I suppose the other one is the Tigers at the Orioles, but that's just a really trappy game to handicap. Matt Manning against Jordan Lyles. It's just full of booby traps, that one.
Yeah, yesterday's baseball slate was very fun to watch. You had 2 Monday Night Football blowouts, and they distracted from an almost no-hitter by Tyler Alexander going 6 innings, and Max Scherzer was perfect through 6 innings, and then they pulled him because it was his first start off the IL. But back to Logan Webb. I don't know his numbers. It was just a quick search. Sinker is his number 1 pitch. Sliders is his number 2 pitch. He throws both of them at 32% of the time. Also, changeup 31% of the time. So all 3 of those pitches are just no in Coors Field. So this one seems like a yes for this Rockies offense.
So let's see if we've got a little price on the Rockies there. We can give out a bonus pick. Colorado Rockies are plus 116, Noah.
There you go.
Home puppy. It's a home puppy. There you go. Bonus play then.
I'm going to look up Logan Webb prior. Logan Webb versus the Rockies. Going to do a quick Munaf here. Shout out to Munaf. That's our second shout out to him. 4.32 ERA in his career against the Rockies. And at the Rockies, 2 runs, 4 runs, 6 runs, 3 runs. So he is prone to giving up runs to these Rockies on the road. They are his worst starts against the Rockies. At home, 0-2-3-2. So, yes, he's going to be a little bit rougher than normal in Coors Field.
Perfect. So there. Yeah, I like that play. We will keep an eye on anything that's happening outside of these playoff races down the stretch as we give out our picks as well. So don't worry about that. Those games won't be completely off of our menu. Locks and dogs to come in a moment. I'll tell you quickly about the Elias Game Plan app. You'll know the Elias Sports Bureau, the official statisticians of US sports leagues. So whether you play fantasy or you like a bet, which I assume you do listen to this, or you just like talking highlights with your friends at work, the Elias Game Plan app is going to up your game. You'll get league-validated team and player news and stats, head-to-head team comparisons, key insights from the Elias statisticians as well. Loads of new features being added to the app all the time. The chat box, which means you can talk directly with their researchers. All of this is going to help you elevate your NFL season today. Download the Elias Game Plan app, and that's ELIAS. And right now, we have a special offer if you subscribe. Get 15% off your annual subscription by using our promo code SGPN15. Find the Elias Game Plan sports betting in the App Store or Play Store and use our promo code SGPN15. And finally, Run Your Pool VIP, the brand new subscription service from Run Your Pool that helps you get an extra edge against the books. You can get entry into exclusive pools with payouts up to $100,000 and exclusive data as well to help you with your weekly game picks, in-depth guides, how to dominate your pools, and exclusive swag. Use the code SGPNVIP at runyourpool.com/VIP to get 50% off your first month of Run Your Pool. That's SGPNVIP at runyourpool.com/VIP. Noah, locks and dogs, take us away.
All right. I can't go with the saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, because we haven't seen the Tuesday outcome. But we're going right back to it. The Cardinals and the Padres over 7.5. This is just it looks easy on paper. Come on. It's Michaelis, 4.81 ERA on the road in his last 4.69 road ERA and 4.81 ERA in his last 5 starts. Blake Snell, I mean, he is just throw it out there because he's bound to give up a couple of runs. It seems like he had a 6-start stretch where he's good, but he's back to the bad Blake Snell. Both of these guys are going to get in trouble early. 7.5 just looks too low. The Cardinals have the best left-handed hitting lineup in the MLB. Come on. I really think that if Tuesday's game goes over, this line is going to go to at least 8, maybe 8.5, because they see the runs scored in that first one. The dog for me on the podcast, it's the most juicy one on the slate tomorrow. It's the Pittsburgh Pirates plus 250 against the Yankees. We have to fade Luis Severino in his first start off the IL. Roansy Contreras has looked amazing in the second half of the season. Give me Roansy. I've been banging his drum all year. I've been banging that drum. It's going to come to fruition. The Pirates have been feisty against really good teams in the MLB. This is another spot. They're 4-2, not counting Tuesday night's game against the Yankees in the last 6 games. Give me the Pirates.
Love your enthusiasm for those picks, Noah. My lock is going to be over. I had loads of them on my card tonight. And it's going to be in the Seattle-Oakland game. It's 2 pitchers that were giving up loads of runs. Robbie Ray, there's something amiss for Robbie Ray, and he has stunk the place out on the road as well. James Kapralian gives up runs, at least a minimum of 2, which might be enough just to get us towards that 6 or 7 runs. The Oakland bullpen can blow up and take us over. So, yeah, I think Seattle will win the game. I think they'll win the game something like 6-3 or 7-3. Anyway, we're going way over the 7. And for my dog, I'm going to go the same game, Noah, but I'm going to take the first 5. I'm going to be a little bit more shrewd, maybe, and think that Pittsburgh can get ahead. We'll take my mate O'Neill Cruz, a little home run there. He can put us 1-0 up off Severino. And maybe I wouldn't trust the Pirates bullpen to hold on to that. New York might get back into it late. So give me the first 5 here. I fully agree with you that Contreras can go very, very well. And we just don't know what we're going to get out with Severino. So a plus price of roundabout plus 240. I think the value is in Pittsburgh, but I'm going to shorten it down to the first half.
There we go. Sounds like some winners.
Certainly does sound like some winners. And that is us. Thank you very much for listening. Thanks everyone who joined us live, got involved in the chat. We go live on YouTube and Twitter every night. If you're not aware, just get your notifications turned on. You'll be able to find us somewhere. Noah, I know everyone's dying to know how the Fantasy D-Gens final is shaping up. And I've had word has reached me, Noah, that Nick Dant, and the word he used is comfortable. Nick Dant is comfortable, he reckons, against me after Monday night. Well, I had 6 starting pitchers going tonight. Sorry?
News to Nick, you have 6 starters.
Yeah, I have left Mike Clevenger out for this start against the Cards, where we're so confident everything's going over. So I'm actually only starting 5 of them. Clevenger's going to ride the pine tonight. So hopefully when I wake up in the morning, I'll have some wins under my belt. I should have a lot of strikeouts under my belt, and I'll have an ERA under 9, which is what it's currently sitting after Jose Suarez is. We've both got ERAs of 9 at the moment, so hopefully that'll be down somewhere nearer a 3, nearer a 3 than 9 anyway. So yeah, comfortable, Nick Dant. We'll see how you feel tomorrow, Sunshine.
I feel like I'm playing both sides because, of course, I'm like social media guy for TCE, so I'm listening to the podcast, and when Nick says he feels comfortable, I was like, oh, he doesn't know what's coming. Malcolm's got 6 guys that make 2 starts this week. It's crazy.
Yeah, what he's going to be, Noah, is uncomfortable. That's how Nick's going to feel in the next couple of years.
Strikeouts and wins. It seems like you got both pretty much on lock.
So yeah, those games kick off in 6 minutes from where I am right now. So I'm going to fire up a few screens and watch an hour before I go to bed. So thanks, Noah.
Heck of a baseball day with the great.
I know. Yeah, man. Thanks, Noah. That was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. Thanks everyone for listening. Good luck with any picks that you make and any bets that you tail. We'll be back tomorrow in some form or another. Noah's got his SGPN MLB Gambling Podcast t-shirt on as well. Yes, the best dressed man in DGen country. Thanks everyone for listening. Good luck with your bets. Until tomorrow, we will see you down the road. Cheers.